I was checking the mainstream media this morning to see what pish is being fed to the masses, and I came across this article. Why is Australia so afraid to talk about racism? What are they claiming is racist now? Cheese? Arithmetic? Queuing at a nightclub? Well, there's a video you can watch where they tell you all about the horrors of the microaggressions they have to face, like, I legit had to change my name when I moved here. My name was being mispronounced. I worked at a university for the first 7 years I was in Australia, and I used to get my name mispronounced. Indian students would call me Thomas instead of Thomas. The Chinese kids would say Mr. Thomas, or they'd use my surname as a first name. What do you think I did? Could you imagine the ridicule I'd get if I'd gone to the uni registrar and said, the students keep getting my name wrong. I mean, someone gets your name wrong, you can have a laugh about it. Use it as a way to improve the relationship you have with that person. I mean, what do you think is going to happen if you say, actually, that's not how you pronounce my name? They're just going to think you're a dick. This is just low-level journalism. When they need to fill quotas for articles, they will regurgitate something like this. I've seen this "they mispronounced my name" article many times before. The Guardian love this stuff. Smug posh journalist basically saying, if you can't pronounce my name, then you are a racist and you must bow down to me and apologise. It's a dirty power game to make you feel guilt, all while it's her that actually has power over you. I'm done being spoken down to by these smug elites. The BBC are no stranger to this either. Called the wrong name at work. Awkward. I mean, get a grip of yourselves. Somebody called me Dorito. Oh no. I mean, as a kid, if I'd gone home whining to my dad that somebody had called me a name, he'd tell me to toughen up. And if I kept my moaning, I'd get clipped around the back of the ear. Somebody mispronounced my name and I didn't know how to reply to that. It bothered me for days. Nana, not Nando's. Far out. Come on, mate. For real? Is this what makes you a victim now? Is this the worst examples of racism that we can find? Because in that case, I'm going to officially declare that's the end of racism. If this is all that's left, then we're scraping the barrel. It's Binna, not Benji. We're tackling the real issues today with the BBC. Binna has been called a variety of names, including Benji, Fred, and Mr. Tandoori. Oh, fuck. That is funny. As expected, the Huffington Post getting on the act. Former Miss Universe wants to get in on the victimhood. She said she felt uncomfortable when schoolmates mispronounced Priya. Boo-hoo. A workplace isn't inclusive if people's names are routinely and purposefully mispronounced. She's had her name mispronounced several times throughout her career and says an encounter can result in lost productivity and anxiety. Far out. I remember once getting jumped by a bunch of kids near where I lived and just getting kicked and stamped in the head. I just picked myself up. I don't even think I told my dad about it. I just went home, probably played Mario Brothers, got on with it. These poor people getting their names mispronounced. Far out. And this one's a story about a guy getting sacked because he was mispronouncing his co-worker's name. And we've got the journalist Nama is playing the victim card. One time, a busy barista rudely sighed and angrily demanded to know how Nama was spelt. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. This person's just another fucking victim grifter. While this dude was frustrated by my name, we were frustrated by his attitude. Get a fucking grip of yourself. Our ABC. My employer spelled my name wrong twice. This is why it matters. Angela Pippos from the Sydney Morning Herald. Having your migrant name mispronounced is neither fun nor a joke. I'm having difficulty buying this. Talking about some Greek Armenian broadcaster who went for a job interview And the interviewer said, "You can't have the job unless you take one letter off the name." And then they took the letter off the name and he got the job. Come on, get a grip. Deakin University has a whole load of educational resources to ensure that you, whether you're a staff member or a student, are pronouncing names correctly. So I remember when I was working at this one particular university about 10 years ago, and I was reading exactly one of these articles about mispronouncing names, and a lot of my co-workers were in agreement with the article that it was also racist. So I set a little fun test for them to see how racist they were. I showed them a map of Scotland and asked them to pronounce a few things. For example, what's this? And they were all like, Ukater Malchti? No, you're racist. Uchter Machti. And then I came along here and they're like, Fruchi? No, Fruki. And then I came along here and what's that? East Wymies? No, East Weems. And then I could find a few other places. For example, this down here is Echo Feckin. If you can't get that right, you're a racist. And then way up north, there's another good one. There we go, right in there. Can you pronounce that? No? Well, you must be a racist. Drum the drocket. Back to the main article. It's actually, this one is about this young journalist who's going on about how she is the first person of colour to work at a regional newspaper in its 150-year history. And SBS are going to use her in an upcoming programme, so it's more taxpayer-funded drivel. And she says, "I've spent a year in one of Australia's whitest towns, and I've learnt they don't like talking about colour. As a brown person, that's a problem." Now, the thing is, to me, she's very white passing, yet she's certainly playing on this colour thing. "My complexion, darker than most residents here, is an integral part of my identity, and in the last couple of weeks it's been the subject of racist vitriol." No, darling, I actually think people would rather judge you on the content of your character than the colour of your skin. And apparently people are actually saying, "Why did this job have to go to a person of colour?" I am not buying that for 1 minute. What a grifter. Yeah, so like I said earlier, one commentator wrote, "There's no such thing as black and white. We're all human beings." Exactly. They want to judge you on your character, not your skin colour. And being a person of colour often means that our ethnicity bleeds into our professional lives. Heightened discrimination, limited job prospects, and the ongoing task of navigating subtle, undermining microaggressions. I mean, maybe this girl's got some talent and could write some good articles. Why does she have to fall on this victimhood? She's got a pinned tweet on Twitter, I noticed, that it's from her time working at the ABC, and again she's just playing on victimhood with a BS story about people pressuring her to change her accent. Why not just write some interesting articles instead of reporting on how you always perceive yourself as a victim? How about you do something like go to the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney and investigate their lies and how they are covering up for their sexual content that they're ramming into kids' faces? No, it'd just be much easier to write articles claiming to be a victim all the time. To take away our colour, who's taken away our colour? My God. To take away our colour is to pale the significance of the obstacles we've encountered. The obstacles she's encountered, eh? Well, she's claiming all this victimhood, yet she went to a very prestigious international school in India. So that is a nation of 1.4 billion people, and she went to a school there that is in the top 10 international schools in the country. And for those who don't know, international schools are very fancy schools for the elites. She's nothing but a posh fraud. People like her have no idea how good they have it. I mean, I now think to the women in my life when I was growing up. Real, hard-working women, working minimum wage or less than that, because there wasn't even a minimum wage at the time. And they were working actual back-breaking jobs. This is nothing but a fucking insult to those women. I mean, to me, when I look at this girl's picture, I'm just seeing a young girl that's had ideology rammed into her head, is going to live life on easy while claiming victimhood. She's probably in the workforce demanding 6 figures straight out of university and wondering why she's not getting it, and claims it's all because everyone's oppressing her and it's racism.